It took me 5 years to get one project. Just think about that. Hi, my name is Oliver Roche. I'm from Ireland and I moved to Malaysia back in 2011. Prior to that, I lived in the US. After I graduated as a quantity surveyor from Ireland in 1994, I went to the States, straight to the States from college. Started to work with a very large multinational company over there in 1994. Moved from the US to Qatar in 2003. Worked in Qatar for 3 years, went back to Ireland for a short period of time, 8 or 10 months, at the worst time possible, which is right before the global financial crisis started. So that didn't work out very well. Ended up after that moving to Vietnam in 2008. Left Vietnam in 2011, end of 10, beginning of 11, to come here to Malaysia. So I've been here for almost 10 years, married with 3 kids, all 3 kids born here in Malaysia. I worked for a large multinational company for almost 20 years, and I kind of reached a ceiling in that company where, I think it happens to many people all the time, and I just decided that I could do what they're doing myself. And I befriended a Malaysian investor partner mid-2013. And towards the end of 2013, we decided to go into business together. One of the things I'll say about Malaysia is that actually starting a business here is actually fairly easy. It's a business-friendly country, I think, Other people may have a different opinion on that, but mine has been positive. So I opened up the doors for RPM in 2014, February 2014. One of the things that, I'm in the construction industry. I've been a project manager for my whole career. And I've done very large projects around the world, some of them hundreds of millions of US dollars. And actually the one that I was doing here when I moved here to Malaysia for the big multinational was billions of US dollars. It was huge. I thought that at the start I would get a large project like in the first year, and it didn't happen. And I think it's because people weren't prepared, our clients weren't prepared to give such a new young company, no matter what my experience was. So for the first 1 to 2 years, actually, we ended up doing a lot of very small things, a lot of very small projects, small assignments. We lost money in the first year. But the second year, we made that loss back and made a profit over the first 2 years. Then after 2 years, we actually started to pick up significant projects. The largest at the time, actually the highest profile one, it wasn't a huge project, it was about it was under 200 million ringgit project, was AirAsia's headquarters, which obviously is a big brand. Everybody knows who AirAsia is. And the previous consultant actually got relieved of their duties, if you would, and we were hired to replace them fairly early on in the project. So that was great. That was a big boost for us at that time. We then got another project, which was a high-profile project, which is the upgrading of the Bukit Jalil National Stadium complex in preparation for the Southeast Asian Games, which were hosted in 2017. High-speed project, lots of changes, government agencies, complicated, lots of stakeholders, blah, 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 blah. I won't bore you with the details, but we got the job done. Games were hosted, everybody was happy. It was a crazy project. But we then secured HSBC's headquarters in Malaysia, which is obviously an enormous win for us, and I'll never forget the day that I actually did the deal. I know it was actually our final sales pitch. I came out with my COO, and my COO said, "Boss, that was amazing," he said to me, and the sales pitch that we made. And I told him, I turned around and told him, I said, "I don't have anything left in me. I put everything on the table to try and get that project," and we did, which was just great. And I think, when you're a small business owner, sometimes you have to make these sacrifices where you just spill your guts out to try and, I'm not saying in a negative way, I'm saying in a positive way, just to show your passion, to show that you really care, to show that you want to make a difference, to show that you can, deliver the project that they want to deliver. And I mean, that can be for any industry, you can use the same approach. A couple of other businesses that we started last year. We started a related company to RPM, where we're a project management consulting company. We started a scheduling, outsourcing business. So we, in essence, do planning and scheduling for construction projects. Okay, it's a sister company to the parent company, or to the RPM. Another business which I think could be huge and is Proficient. We've got a project management software that we developed from scratch here in Malaysia. All three of those businesses in Malaysia, starting them, like I mentioned earlier, was easy. It was easy. It was a very pleasant experience, and we're actually applying for grants from the Malaysian government because it's a Malaysian company, and we're getting support from various departments in the government, which is great. There's a big push, as you know, from the government at the moment to go digital. So I think our timing of doing this is absolutely perfect. One of the keys to having a successful business, be it a small business or whatever, is having a good partner. Finding a good partner is absolutely essential. You know, I think a lot of people try to do things on their own, and it's difficult. It's good to have somebody to bounce problems off of, you know, and sometimes that can't be your wife because maybe she's a school teacher, you know what I mean? And like mine, and she doesn't know, you know, it's not her fault. Now, having said that, I do bounce stuff off my wife, you know what I mean? And she does input, but having a partner who's in business already, who knows the ins and outs, who knows the ups and downs, who's gone through the peaks and the troughs and all that is invaluable. And that was a big help to me when I first started out the business. So, and that's a Malaysian partner. So that was a very good experience. Getting the bigger projects was just hard work. It was just graft. It was just constantly, politely following up with leads, you know what I mean? And always maintaining. It took me 5 years to get one project. Just think about that. It took 5 years for us to secure. I had been following this one guy for 5 years, and that didn't convert into anything for 5 years, you know what I mean? So you just never give up, and you always keep in contact. You always keep in touch. I'm constantly dropping notes to people that I consider friends, actually, you know, who end up being clients. Those would be two small tips that I think I would give anybody who's in business or thinking about doing something on their own. You know, I think in summary, we love Malaysia. I love Malaysia. Genuinely love living here. All of my kids were born here. My wife's a school teacher in Alice Smith Secondary School, which is one of the foreign schools that are here, one of the better known ones. It's extraordinarily culturally diverse, and it's just an interesting place to live. You know what I mean? You've got an incredible mix of three very diverse cultures in the Malay culture, the Chinese culture, and the Indian culture. Everybody gets along. You know what I mean? You don't see riots in the street. Nice, the people are lovely. I genuinely mean that. The people are really, really nice, and it's not cold here. You know, I grew up in Ireland where it's like grey and dreary and raining, like it seems like all the time. Yeah, it rains here as well, but not like what it does in Ireland.